Hey, everybody. It's me, Queenie Brown. Thank you so much for joining me. And thank God it's Financial Freedom Fridays. I'm Queenie. In a few minutes, we're going to be joined by the KingsMan. And today we want to have a discussion about your spending. Are you a spender or are you an investor? And when you think about each of these, think about it in terms of your thoughts, your money, your time, and also your energy. So let's bring on the Kingsmen, Mr. Dwayne Taylor and Mr. Donovan Yarbo. Today we're going to be talking about being a spender or an investor. Before we get started, I just wanted to say, you think about these days, and we've been trained to be consumers. We've been trained to go out and spend. As soon as we get money, we go out and spend money, and that's just the way that we've been trained. And that's why many of us live from paycheck to paycheck, because as soon as we get that check, we're giving the check to somebody else. And so we've got to start thinking about what we do and how we do it a whole lot differently nowadays. We're in a different time. It's a different world with a different program, and we've got to consider whether or not we want to continue to be spenders, or do we want to learn to become investors? Do we want to learn to invest our time wisely, invest our money wisely, invest our energy even wisely? An investor was the last one: time, money, energy, and thoughts. Oh my gosh, the most important of them all. How are we investing our thoughts? So let's go on and get it going, gentlemen. Let's talk about it. How are we investors or are we spenders?
What's going on, family? How's everybody doing tonight?
We
Um, when I was thinking about, or when we was coming up with the title, um, I got this from a book I was reading by Neville Goddard, and he was talking about a story about his wife. He was telling a story about a woman. His wife had a dream, and the Lord was talking to her about spending or investing. And it was basically more on the lines of your thoughts, because they were saying that your thoughts are the coin of heaven, right? Your thoughts are the coin of heaven, because that's what we actually use to get what we want. You know what I'm saying? From
Mm,
that invisible realm is, you using your thoughts, you tapping in. And, they came up with that word spin, and this is the definition that was used. It says to waste, to squander, to lay out without return.
mm,
That's big right there. Or to invest was to lay out for a purpose for which a profit is expected. So when we take those two definitions, spending or investing, when it comes to our time, our money, our thoughts, our energy, we just was talking about it, how we're just so trained to just spend everything. We spend our money. Like, people don't think about that. They spend their thoughts,
mm.
right? Because really, most people aren't even really thinking with their own thoughts. They're just regurgitating old thoughts from yesterday or from 10 days ago, or, somebody else's thoughts that's being shown on the TV. Our energy. Are we spending our energy? Are we investing our energy? We live in a society where we give honor to this word called grind, right? We pay it homage. We act like this word is grind is almighty. If you don't grind, then you don't get nothing. But I beg to differ, because I truly believe the power that we hold and we possess, and I'm out to still working on proving it out. But I truly believe that our thoughts, our imagination, led by um, inspired action,
Yes.
carries a greater weight than just grinding.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
when you just listen to that word grind, what does grind even mean? It means to pulverize, it means
Mm.
to turn into dust, it means to break down, right? You take grain and you grind it to a powder. So why would we want to do that to ourselves?
Mm.
Right? So when we think about these words, let's really as a family, because once again, when we're sharing this information, I'm talking to you as if you are my family. We have to get off of the mindset of spending everything. right? We just spend with that without even the thought of something coming back to us. We just spend, and we got to begin to get that mindset of becoming an investor or a wealth builder. And when we say wealth building, we don't mean just money. We're talking about whole life prosperity,
Yes.
right? Wealth encompasses different pieces of a pie. Once again, we're trained when we hear that word wealth, automatically we're trained to just think money, right? As soon as you say wealth, people just think money because, I mean, that's just the world we live in. So tonight, we're really going to be asking the family to begin to gauge on, are you investing or are you spending? We'll just leave it from there, or we'll just take off from there. So I'll turn it over to Mr. Donovan or Miss Queenie, and we can keep rolling from there.
Awesome stuff, Mr. Taylor, as always, man. Thank you. And I know this was a topic that you wanted to discuss that just kind of, I guess, wrapped you up and held you hostage for the last couple of days because you're looking at your own life. And as you're speaking, and I'm writing down some different notes, the one thing that came to my mind was time. There's a difference in gratification for both of those actions. Spending equals instant gratification.
Hmm.
You spend, and I'm gonna just come from the realm of money at this point, or currency. You spend your currency and you receive something immediately. Be it a new pair of shoes, a new shirt, you know, um, a watch, some jewelry, anything. You exchange it for that good service or product, and there's that immediate satisfaction. I mean, you know how it is. You crack open a new box of tennis shoes, and it feels good to put those shoes on for the first time, or to wear that shirt for the first time, or whatever it is that you wanted. Not to be sexist or feminist, but Queenie, think about a new lipstick. Because
You
your
ain't
red is
saying
popping
nothing but a
tonight.
word.
You get a new color, you can't wait to like, oh, I'm gonna put this with this outfit, or
That's the
maybe your
truth.
lipstick is that pop of color for the evening,
That's right.
so it feels good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you invest, you don't get an immediate gratification.
Mm.
From that sensory, that
Mm-hmm.
that thought sense realm, it's not immediate. But if you train, you and develop yourself to know that the gratification is going to come, though. If I invest for the return is going to come, and just piggybacking off of your definitions, um, to invest is to expend money with the expectation of achieving a profit or material result. With the expectation is an immediate. So we got to learn to take gratification in that expectation, like sowing a seed. I don't reap the harvest today, but I take gratification that if I have properly tilled the ground, and sow the seed and then cover it up and bury it. And if I water it and make sure I keep out pests and other things that may come to try to take my harvest, I'm going to reap that harvest. And I'm reminded of my big brother Jesus, who is told to us in his word that for the joy that was set before him, he endured
Mm-hmm.
the cross, but whatever he had to endure for the joy that was ahead. So that gratification that was ahead, and that's what we mean by invest, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, on this platform, we are talking about financial freedom. Like,
Hmm.
we are direct in that, but we use analogies, we use similes, we use things that you can relate to. Because my family, I didn't come from a wealthy family. So like I said before, I'm here to make sure, without a doubt, there's no doubt in my mind that a wealthy family will come from me. Back to you, Mrs. Brown.
No, that's right. I know that's right. It's funny when you talk about that whole seed time and harvest um, message, and there's so many messages in it. I'm walking that out right now. I'm literally sowing seeds. Hey, Nico, thanks for joining us. I'm walking that out right now. I just planted some seeds, and I watched the seedlings grow up, and the difference is we've literally been programmed to not find gratification in investing, because when I put those
Hmm.
seeds in the ground, I felt good about it. I feel like, okay, in a few months I'm gonna have me some watermelon. I'm gonna have me some bell pepper. I'm gonna have those things that I sowed. But when you save, you're trained to see that as giving away. It's like we've got the definitions mixed up. We see
Hmm.
saving as spending, And spending, I don't know what we see that as, but but it's backwards. So I just wanted to make the point that we've got to retrain our brain. We've got to rethink the way that we're processing around the whole concept of investing, especially when you think about investing your time. We're
Mhm.
right now in this season called Rona. And in this season, there are people investing their time in nothing, in nothingness. I mean, literally just playing music and dancing on video. And now I get it. Everybody's stressed out and it's a lot and you kind of want to numb out. But right now you have the choice. You can either numb out or you can invest your time and become something different on the other side. You can invest in your own self-development. You can invest in healing. You can invest in shifting your energy, changing the way that you are, the way that you show up. And so I want us to not just think about investment in terms of money, but that's right now we need to be thinking about that. But we've got to look at our time and look at our thoughts. How are you thinking? How are you spending? What are you spending your time meditating on? And like one of you were saying right before we started, if you're spending all of your thought processing time watching the news, that's like putting weeds in your own garden. You got to think differently. You have to change your thinking, and the way you do that is garbage in, garbage out. Stop putting the garbage in.
Mhm.
Put the good stuff in. Put the things that are going to bring you joy, the things that are going to lift you up, the things that are going to expand your thinking, and the things that are going to awaken you so that you can become better on the other side. So that just kind of exploded in me, guys, as you were talking, both of you, and so I just needed to just throw that in there. But definitely, we've got to shift our mindset around investing for sure.
And Mr. Taylor, before you go, let me jump in real quick.
You
Something
good?
that Queenie said, and it really, man, when you said it, it blew up on the inside of me. You talked about, we see saving as spending, and not as a we don't see the benefit in it. And I'll say that that was purposeful. It's not that we haven't seen the benefit in it. We were never taught it. And then when we did, we were told you got to save, you got to save. But there was never any benefit because that's the way this fiat debt-based system was designed. That there is no return.
Yeah.
You know, you put $100 in a bank and it would literally take almost 130 years for that money to double in a traditional savings account. So it's like, what's the point? I might as
Yeah.
well enjoy it. I might as well go get that steak dinner. I might as well go get those shoes that I don't need, but I want. We weren't taught how to properly save, how to properly see an investment, look at an investment, and know that either it's going to be 1, 3, 5 to put that time frame on it and say, okay, this is an investment I'm making for 1 year, or this is a very short term investment. I'm looking for a quick return. So, there's a higher risk, but
Mm-hmm.
we were never taught that. And if you think about it, I was a financial advisor, financial planner. I am not. This is not financial advice. This is our opinion based on facts and research that we've done. So we can tell you the truth. We don't have to tell you a lie. We're not here to sell you a product. So being a financial advisor, we were not even taught financial literacy on how to properly see and properly maneuver. Because if a financial advisor knew how to turn 15 cents into a dollar, he would be in the poorest neighborhoods. He or she would be in the poorest neighborhoods. Anybody I can find is a potential customer. Why? You got 15 cents? Great. I can turn it into a dollar. Let's roll. But no, they're looking for high net worth individuals that they can take money and just turn. They can just take money and just turn it over and extract fees and commissions off of, because they're trying to make a living too, not trying to make you wealthy like we are on this Financial Freedom Friday. Over to you, Mr. Taylor.
And that's good that you said that, because it is so true. But that's why we're here. That's why we're doing these Financial Freedom Fridays, is so our people can learn the language of investing, so they can learn that language of money. And it's really sad when and I get it, and I know why it is, and I'm gonna speak from this position. Your subconscious mind and your unconscious mind have so much. I don't know if anybody's watching this has ever been scuba diving, but I was scuba diving when I was in the military. And you think all the power is on the waves from the top, But that's not true. Those waves are created by the current deep underneath the ocean. That's how those waves up top are created. So it's the waves underneath, but you get to see the waves up top.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just like how your mind is, your subconscious mind, and we can even go deeper to your unconscious mind, and that's what we can talk about, the abyss. That's where all of that repetitive mindset is. And when we come on a platform like this and we begin to challenge your mind to think differently, it doesn't agree with that language that you're holding so deep in your conscious and subconscious mind that you get, what do we call it? Cognitive
Cognitive
dissonance,
dissonance, yeah.
right? So it's like two rams battling. And what we have to understand is the way you train that mindset, there's only two ways you can do it. One is either like hypnotize yourself, or two, repetitiveness, right? So if we're talking about spending or investing, the main thing we have to spend, even when it comes to our finances or invest in, is our thought life. What are we thinking about all the time? I remember Pastor used to always say, think about what you're thinking about. How are you spending your thoughts? If you're watching this stuff on TV all the time about Rona, like that is creating a thought pattern in you that you're consistently thinking about. Oh my, I don't want to get sick. Oh, anybody come around you and they cough, sneeze, you like, right? Because everybody's thinking that everybody in the world's gonna get it. What are we thinking about? What are those deep underlying factors? If you just really sit back and look at your life, and that statement is so true. You are where you are in your life today because of the way you think. And if you want your life to be different, then you have to invest the time in your thought life to get a different life. Reading the books, right? Mr. Yarbo was just talking about, we weren't taught this. Now's the perfect time where you can begin to take your time, invest your time, and learn this knowledge. Me and Mr. Yarbo, we've been doing this for a couple of years, and the only thing we did was read books, watch videos, listen to people that were already there, and I guarantee you will hear the same thing over and over. And there is no secret to getting wealthy. There isn't one. Everybody thinks there's a secret to getting rich. Really, there is no secret.
And here's the beauty of what we did with that also, Mr. Taylor, is then we discussed it amongst each other. We talked about those things that we were learning and seeing. We didn't shy away from it. We asked questions. Hey, I didn't understand it. Did you get that? And we sought deeper revelation. Man, continue. I just wanted to add that we didn't just listen. We engaged in it. We fellowship with it, and we created a mastermind, and that's continuing to build. Back to you, sir. Sorry to interrupt.
And now this popped up when you said that, and because I feel it, because I believe somebody who's going to be listening to this, your education going to get in your way of this. Because you got a degree from a school that told you were a specialist in one area, that doesn't mean you know everything about everything. So don't let your education or your degree or your master's degree think you are better than the knowledge and the wisdom that's coming across this platform right now, right? Because the only thing we're regurgitating are people who have master degrees and doctor degrees and financial literacy, financial knowledge, financial wisdom, right? That's all we're doing. We're doing no different than what you're doing. You went to school for 4 years, 6 years to regurgitate information. We did the same thing. We just didn't get a degree with it, but we're regurgitating the same information you regurgitate, right? Because that's all you did was read a book, remembered, regurgitate, right? So what's the difference between your avenue and my avenue, right? So if we are going to talk about investing or spending our time, this family, right? We're always talking about our family here on this platform. No, let's stop spending. Let's stop putting something into without expecting a return and expecting a return. Right. So the only way we can expect a return is if we go from spending to investing. And if nobody's ever taught you about spending, then stick with us, because we're going to teach you the difference between spending and investing and building wealth and staying in debt and right? Because we are living in that time right now. Me and Mr. Yarbo was talking now. This is why you got to be wealthy, right? This is why you got to have money. Right now, there's something going on that we don't know about. Some of us see it, some of us don't. You know what I'm saying? Those that see it get it and understand it. But there's something bigger going on with what's happening. But if you have the money to move, you can protect yourself a lot better than the people that don't have the money to move, right? Let's say, for lack of better words, let's say all hell breaks loose. Those people that got money can go underground and live for years. The people that don't have the money, guess what? It's an all-out war up here. It's Walking Dead. Like it's
Fend for
survival of the
yourself,
fittest.
survival of the fittest. Yeah.
Man,
Survival of the fittest.
this is the image that I just got. It just reminded me of Hurricane Katrina.
Mm.
Hmm.
That thing blew up in the Gulf and was coming across Florida for a minute. And those that had the resources, had family outside of Louisiana, um, they got up and they left. I recall vividly because the maid of honor at our wedding, me and Deanna housed her here for about 2 weeks before she decided to go on up to New York City, where she could kind of reestablish herself for the time being while New Orleans recovered. But you're talking about she evacuated a week ahead. She was an attorney. She was intelligent. She had the resources. She had a house there that she knew would probably be destroyed, but I got to go. Those that were left there, stuck in the Superdome, stuck in the muck and the mire, did not have resources. So you could see damage coming. You could see the pending doom coming, but they didn't have the resources to get out of it, man. That was
Oh,
a
that's
great point
so
you
deep.
made, Taylor.
That's so
Yeah.
deep. And that's like a mini version of what we who see can imagine what's about to go down.
We're watching it right
We
before our
are.
eyes, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh my God,
Yeah.
what's next? Like, I put on my Facebook today, and I try to stay out of the rhetoric because my focus is truly financial freedom. My
Hmm.
focus is getting to first base so that I can round second to riches and get to third, which is wealthy, so I can get home and leave a legacy for my children's children. But looking at it today, I posted, level one of this thing. We just, 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks, 8 weeks ago, and 2 more weeks, and 2 more weeks. Well, now here we are, where we're going to open back up, but you can't come in here or you can't move unless you have a mask on. You have to have a mask. Everybody has to have a mask. And for me, that's a personal choice. I understand it. We want to make the public and we want to make people feel safe, but that's still a personal choice. So as we progress, what's level 3? What's level 4? What's level 5? If you're stuck and dependent like a baby on her mother's nipple for the nourishment, then you have no other choice but to do exactly what they say do. But if you don't have to put yourself in those positions to be free, why not take that opportunity to do that? And that comes from investing your time, energy, money, thoughts, your life, not just spending alone. Over to you, Ms. Brown.
Thanks for your comment, Maurice. He said perfect economic storm brewing, right?
Mm.
What just hit me as you guys were talking about that is, you know, if you look in the natural of what we're dealing with, it is really scary. It just plain is scary. But we have to remember that we are not natural, and that we do not have to submit to the way the world operates. We have power beyond it, and we can rise into that power and really activate a whole lot of creative power if we just understand who we are and what we are. God created us to be some amazing beings, and this body is an amazing tool that we have, but it's not nearly as powerful as the mind that's connected to the Spirit of God. And so if we can learn how to quiet our minds and really just center ourselves, get grounded, and hear God's voice leading us, we can overcome all of this. God can drop $1 million idea in your mind overnight. He can lead you right to the people who have the money to pay you. He can tap the skills and gifts that He's already put inside of you and stir them up and activate them, and all of a sudden this changes for you overnight. And so the key, though, is to believe that it's possible to activate that power within you. And then when He does tell you to do something, do it. And
Mm-hmm.
invest your time wisely. Invest your money that you do activate and bring in and manifest. Invest it wisely. Invest your energy wisely. Don't surround yourself with people who are sucking you dry energetically, who are so scared because they watch the news all day that they just dump all that fear on the inside of you. Guard your heart. Guard your ears. Guard your eyes. Right now is not the time to be playing. We have got to get focused and clear because they ain't playing out there.
Mm-mm.
So keep that in mind. You know, it doesn't have to be dark for us. We are the light. So bring it. Yeah.
And when you were speaking, Quentin, you said that, I'm always going back to what I truly believe about this whole thing. I truly believe God put the power in simplicity, right?
Yes.
And because we want to make things so complicated, like it's in our nature to make things complicated, and then we see how complicated it is, and then we start trying to chop things off to simplify, right? You see businesses like that all the time, organizations like that, they grow, they have all this crazy way of functioning, doing this, and then the next thing you know, they coming in and what? Slice this, slice. We got to find a way to make it what? Simpler. Make it what? Simpler. What? Make it simpler. And the reason I said that is because I truly believe when you get quiet and you can invest your thoughts in being quiet and listening to instructions for instructions. But once again, it's going to take a little time to get to that place. Why? Because our mind is so cluttered with all these other thoughts. You've been spending your thoughts on
Yes.
watching all this garbage in TV or listening to these conversations that you hang around, this 24/7 Corona or this or that or this or that. And you haven't been investing those thoughts with books that are going to get you to think or get you to question or get you to go deeper, right? But I truly believe when we get quiet, God will come with something so simple. And the reason I'm saying this too, even with our system, with Care Bars, it's so simple, people miss it all the time. You can literally right now become financially free in less than 90 days if you really wanted to, if you could learn to just pay yourself first and show people how to do the same thing. But because we think things, we don't believe that we've been taught and trained that nothing, if it's that easy, it can't be real. Why can't it be? Why can't it be real? Why can't it be that simple? Why? Why can't it be? If you really look at everybody's what they're doing now, the only thing they're doing is promoting a system, right? Why? Because systems make things simple.
Yep.
Period. Systems make things simple. That's what everybody is trying to get somebody to do. Hey, look at my system. Hey, check this system out. Look at this system. Look at this system. It's all about systems. And if you can get your mind around system versus labor, it's going to work out a whole lot better for you. Go ahead, Mr. Jarbo.
Man, that's, you know, man, I find myself, I just sit here and just expound on, things that you bring to light. You bring it to light, and then I just want to expound on it. I'm like, do I have an original thought here? But that's why you're my brother. That's why I see you as a mentor. I see you as a friend. And obviously your moniker coach is real. Thinking about systems, I'm reminded of Henry Ford. The invention of the automobile was monumental. But people forget that the most monumental facet of that whole thing was the creation of the assembly line.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because the assembly line went beyond just automobiles. It could be used and applied to
Anything.
a lot of industries. I mean, you could take the assembly line and put together pens, put together headphones, put together lamps. Everybody does
Beauty
their
products.
part. I do my part, boom, move it on. I do my part, move it
That's
on.
right.
And the end product always comes out the same with the same quality.
Yes.
And at the end of that, you have an inspector, puts his stamp on it, inspected by number 5, inspected by number 15. But that system made everything easy. So I don't have to sit here and try to put the whole lamp together by hand. I have my part. I install the shade. You know what I'm saying? So with carrot bars, our system is so simple and everybody does their part. And that's the beauty of the part that I love. The best part of all, the thing that when Mr. Taylor talked about, all we did was go and listen to people who were wealthy, people who knew about money and about building wealth and not looking for a get rich quick scheme, but a get rich for sure plan, is we kept hearing the same themes. Got to get assets. You have to get assets. You have to get assets. So while you're getting quiet and you're waiting on that word from God, you're waiting on that idea, or you're waiting on God to tell you who to speak to, who to go see, or what to read, what to do, nothing should stop you from acquiring assets, from building the platform for your wealth to be birthed out of, to be birthed off of, is assets. And secondly, you need to build a second stream of income, employing leverage, not just your effort, because our bodies are designed to break down. That's what happens with physical matter in this earth. It breaks down. But by instituting a system, and especially a system of wealth building, the beauty of it is that it frees you, the person, the individual, to be able to now go and fulfill everything you want to fulfill without needing the money. You know, every one of us has something in us that we will say, man, I would do that for free. But we know in this world we can't live for free unless you want to live under a rock. So there has to be income coming in. There has to be some type of supply to fulfill your needs and demands. But you're also a supply for someone else. That gift that you have is not for you, it's for someone else. But you love doing it, but you got to give it, you got to serve it. You know, I don't know who's quoted as saying this, but if you can get everything you want in life, it might be Zig Ziglar or one of the famous motivational speakers. You can get everything you want in life if you help more people get what they want. I mean, that service is a gift. Service is a gift, and it's been abused, you know, and led to slavery and other forms of indentured servitude. But service is a gift. We love giving of ourselves. Man, I love serving my wife. She asks me to do something. Sometimes it's done with an attitude, but a lot of times I got to think like, hold up, man. I get to serve this woman. Today she sat down to eat. I was already sitting at the table, and she went to put out her place, man. And I'm like, I should have already had that out. How did I miss that moment of service? It hurt me. Now she's downstairs talking about, yeah.
I got you high-fiving, girl.
Queenie, you also said something, and I was like, oh my God, that is so true regarding our minds. I heard today, my wife was listening to a holistic doctor speak. There was supposed to be a big conference in Toronto that she was supposed to be at this weekend with her mother. It was obviously canceled and put online. But one of the main things he was talking about was your subconscious. And what he said, he is like, you guys, we got to remember that we are 99.9999999% spirit. What you see, this physical flesh is 0.0000001% of the whole story.
Yes.
You know, so we're focused on all this outside exterior matter, when if we get this right, everything flows to us, through us, for us, to our benefit. Man, over to you guys, man. I love being on this stream today. Thank you so much for having me here once again, as always.
My God, my God, my God. That's right. Nico says, say it. And Maurice says, systems make things simple. That's right. Man, I tell you, it's something when we finally get who we are and what we are, it just transcends all of this. It really does. Everything that we fear, everything that we worry about, we just don't get it. And we have to think about the power that really lives on the inside of us. That same miracle working power that raised Jesus from the dead is on the inside of us, just waiting to be activated. That same, he said in the word, I'm just gonna go there, that Jesus was the firstborn of all of our brethren, right? And we are the brethren that he was firstborn of. He said that he was the King of kings and the Lord of lords. Well, we are the kings and lords that he is king and lord over. He said that we would do greater works than he ever did. And that means walking on water, healing the sick, turning water into wine, giving sight to the blind, feeding the hungry, um, just moving through walls, all of the stuff that he was able to do. He was the example for us. We have the capacity, the power, the ability, the dominion to do all of those things and more. But if we are still stuck in this body and this physicalness, thinking that this is who we are, we're stuck. We're powerless. And that's a lie. And so, regardless of what our financial situation looks like, regardless of what our job situation looks like, our relational situation, all the stuff that's temporal, none of that matters if we really get who we are and we rise into the power of it and start operating as gods on the earth. So, I'm grateful that we could have a conversation and go here. I'm grateful, family, that you guys have hung in there with us. And I know that, we're talking about financial freedom because being financially free is a part of our entire body freedom, our entire whole life freedom. It's the freedom to have, to choose, to go, to live, to do exactly as God created us to do, and to not have anything holding us back. And so, guys, I'm grateful that you all have joined again on this conversation where they're always so very rich and so very moving. And I learn so much from both of you every week. And I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you to our audience and to you guys for just always bringing the heat, bringing the fire. You guys have any final comments?
Yeah, I want to add something to what you were just saying. And I'm gonna bring up Genesis 11, and it said, and the Lord said, "Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they began to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do."
Yes.
And the one gift that we truly have that people don't understand is your imagination. I guarantee you, whoever watches this, I want you to really ask yourself, if you're working a 9 to 5, ask yourself, is that what you really want to do?
Mm.
Like, I mean, is that what you really want to do for the rest of your life? And if the answer is no, then let's change that.
Yes.
Then let's be willing to step into something new. Yes, change is challenging because you're fighting against a mindset that your brain is designed to keep you safe. Do you understand that change means you are fighting your own biology? That's why change is so hard, is because your brain is doing all it can to keep you safe. Do you understand that if you are, I hate to use this, but it's real, like if you're in an abusive relationship and you survive it, do you know that you will most likely attract another abusive relationship because your mind will relate survival to that?
Mm-hmm.
That's how powerful your mind is. So the way to get out of that is your imagination. You have the ability to see yourself however you choose to be in this world. Better yet than asking what do you want to do, the better question is who do you want to be in this world?
Mhm.
That's the bigger question. The bigger question is who do you want to be? And go imagine every day. I'm starting to practice something called imagination breaks, right? 1 minute, 2 minutes. And I'm quieting myself and I'm imagining myself being the person that I choose to be right now. Like I feel it, I experience it. If I'm somewhere, I smell it. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm next to somebody, I'm hearing the conversation, whatever it is, but I'm beginning to put this into practice because I want to be able to teach that. I'm adding this moniker. I call myself the coach, but I think I'm gonna switch to the imagination coach, man, to teach
Ooh.
people to use their imagination. Because when you truly get a hold of this, and it'll change your life because you will change you
Yes.
into who you're supposed to be.
Mm.
But that's it, family. I love y'all. Yeah, let's just go. Let's go. Let's be
Amen.
great. Let's get everything that we're supposed to get because we're
Yes.
worth it. Go
Yes.
ahead, D.
Um, I'm I also have this streaming on a watch party on my page. And someone just quoted Jamal Bryant. Christopher Polk quoted Jamal Bryant, said, God said you have to work. He didn't say you need a job. Work on yourself. Work
Mm.
on things that you want to create that you can profit from. You don't necessarily have to work someone else's 9 to 5. But what I wanted to finish with is a simple invitation, an invitation to sign up for a free gold savings account with Carrot Bars International, an invitation to acquire a optional business package to set yourself up to do business in 140 countries doing what? Simply doing what the wealthy do and what they advise to do to build long-term and longevity type wealth, and that is acquire assets. Care Bars International, we simply save physical gold in small transaction friendly increments, and we share with other people how to do the same. No one spends money in our network. We keep it for ourselves, technically investing it into a precious metal that appreciates in value. This is a country car with Canada on it. And I love this one because my wife is from that great country. So, and I love the red as well. But I want to invite you to get back with Queenie, get back with Dwayne, get back with myself, or whoever shared this stream with you and has been sharing Carrot Bars with you. They are loving on you, and they see that you are in a position that is not setting you up to win at the end. Carrot Bars has made saving gold easy and has put it in a simple system where we do it as a community. We are a community of wealth builders and freedom fighters. And as Mr. Taylor just said and quoted from the word of God as spoken in the Bible, what they have imagined to do will not be restrained from them. And we imagine to live in this world wealthy, to
Yes.
live free, and to be able to choose and do what we want to do with our time, when we want, how we want, with who we want, for however long we want. And you can have that same option as well. Join us on this journey. Join us. Fight your biology to stay the same and stay in Lodabar and say that I'm going to do what the wealthy do. I'm going to start to acquire assets for my family. I'm going to join a team of wealth builders and masterminders, and I'm going to talk wealth so eventually I can walk wealth. I
Mm.
love that. That
I
just
like
came to me.
that.
God bless you all. Thank you, Mrs. Brown, again for having us. It has been my pleasure to be with you and Mr. Taylor and the family that's joined us and has collaborated with us as well.
So
Thank
who is
you.
Nico?
Nico, my girl from California. Hey, babe.
She said she want in,
I see.
so
I
Queenie
see.
gonna take care of you.
Yes, I'm going to put a link in the comments too for you so that you can go ahead and get your account set up. It's absolutely free. And then let's reach out, and I'll reach out to you, Nico, tomorrow, and we can talk about it. But I'm excited about where we're headed. I am just grateful for this depth of conversation, family. We love y'all more than you could ever know. We want to see us all win together. As they say, don't meet me there, beat me there, right? All right, so we're gonna shut it on down tonight. Thank you guys so much again for joining us on Thank God It's Financial Freedom Fridays. Make sure you leave a comment if you haven't already. Hey now, um, and make sure you share this with your friends and family. Schedule a watch party. I like that, Donovan. Definitely. Rhonda says, "Great show. Thank you. You are more than welcome. Thank you for joining us." All right, y'all have a blessed evening, and we will see y'all next week. All righty, bye, loves.
All right, family. Love y'all.
Love you, love you.